Don't call it a tube.
What we're looking at is something that's called a tubular daylighting device.
This tubular daylighting device is made by Solatube International, a company that makes complex daylighting systems.
We truly are an optical system from top to bottom.
And by optical, what does that encompass?
We're using both reflective optics, so mirror surface or mirrored surfaces, as well as refractive or lens technologies.
So how does a Solatube daylighting system, which holds a dozen of international patents, work? It starts with the dome.
This is what's collecting the daylight. We are using Fresnel lens technology in this particular dome to collect the angles of light that we want, so we can actually broaden the number of hours per day that we're collecting useful daylight.
Optics in the dome filter out UV rays and reorient sunlight down the Solatube daylighting system.
So we're collecting visible light, we're reflecting it down this highly reflective tubing that has a specular or mirror-like reflection of essentially 99.5 to 99.7% for visible light only.
Because the inner lining of the Solatube daylighting system is so reflective, a Solatube daylighting system can snake 8 or more stories down a building before it's diffused into the building.
So here we are using our electric dimmer, what we call a daylight dimmer, that allows the space occupants to fully modulate light levels. So they can choose however much light they need for whatever visual task they're doing.
It's almost like a light switch.
Yeah, it's exactly it. So now daylight really is applied with the same ease as an electric lighting system.
Since the 1980s, Solatube has been mastering how to make sunlight at the flip of a switch a reality. A reality so perfected and unreal that Solatube doesn't let anyone, and I mean anyone, that's me, take a look at the manufacturing of the Solatube daylighting systems. So Bob, we're not allowed to look into your actual manufacturing facility, but tell me a little bit about why.
Well, there's a lot of things that we do back there that are proprietary. And you know, this company is very successful, and we've become successful by doing a lot of things in a different way. A lot of companies who aren't so clever would like to copy what we do, and so everybody's anxious to learn exactly how do we do what we do that makes our product so remarkable. And to protect our secrets, we just don't let people take a look.
The biggest challenge for Solatube hasn't been keeping how the Solatube daylighting systems are made, but what the system actually does.
I mean, I remember in the early days you would be at a home show and people would say, what is that? Does it transport you? Does it heat up the room? But I mean, they had no idea because what would a tube that has this light coming out of it, what would it be? So, but taking something that never exists where people have no point of reference and creating a market and educating them and then convincing them to buy it is a pretty daunting effort.
Despite the daunting task, over 1 million Solatube daylighting systems for commercial and residential facilities have been developed, made, and installed around the world through Solatube's network of sales teams. So your model is, of course, you make it, you have the patents, you do that, you teach how to install, and then you let them sell it, basically.
Exactly.
So you don't need to do any of that selling yourself.
To sell and install as well.
Got it. And here's the place where you learn. This is Solatube School.
University of Solatube, exactly.
University of Solatube. What's made Solatube daylighting systems so compelling worldwide? There's a few good reasons.
So here, what we're looking at, though, is another space that's fully day lit. When we talk about a warehouse facility and energy efficiency, lighting accounts for up to 75% of the total annual energy costs.
Solatube daylighting systems do more than save energy costs.
When we apply daylight to a space, we're not only making a building energy efficient, but we are truly nurturing the occupants. So we're creating a building that helps drive our bodies, our circadian rhythms. And so when we apply daylight, we can increase staff productivity, we can improve student performance, we can actually boost retail sales.
Multiple studies have shown that a naturally lighted work environment can bump up employee productivity by 6 to 16%, which can translate to several hundreds of thousands of dollars.
There's a trend to sustainable design and energy efficiency. They are now policy in the United States and throughout the world, and codes are now dictating that buildings be built that are good for the human occupants and that are energy efficient. And our product actually serves both purposes. So now, through these policies and through this, this trend of sustainable design, you basically can have natural light as a major initiative to serve both of them and have make people happy.
What's next for Solatube, a company that's led the way in daylighting innovation? More innovation.
We've got a lot of interesting things that we filed patents on and a lot of interesting things that we will be. And we're getting ready to come out with some pretty major breakthroughs over the next couple of years.
Got it. Well, we'll keep our eye on you then.
Thank you.
Great.